And now, after years of planning, sweating, and going broke, here is the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
And it left the media.
Why they would give this man a podcast is anyone's guess.
Then there is what could only be a bizarre coincidence or something else.
Welcome to the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Country music and fine moonshine. Finally, a podcast that lets it all hang out.
Let's level with America.
Got your boots? Ready for some whiskey?
These boots are made for walking.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
And now, the Boots and Whiskey Podcast with Jim Belisle.
Hey everyone, Jim here, Boots and Whiskey Podcast. Welcome to episode 362. This is our third of three we released this week. I don't know why the hell I did this to myself, but it's because, honestly, you want to know why, and this is how we do it here, full transparency. We have so many fucking, excuse my language for the kids at home, fucking episodes that need to go out because I'm a whore when it comes to recording stuff and hoarding it, that this is wow. But Angela Meyer is here. We're in year 5 of this podcast, and this is probably, we've done 360, this is 62. This might be in the top 10 episodes I've ever done. This conversation is one of my favorite because I think it's one of those conversations that needed to happen. And you'll see what I mean as this conversation goes. Absolutely incredible conversation. I would talk to Angela once a month if she'd allow it, or if I could do it. You know, it's one of those kind of things. So sit back, relax, enjoy. If it's your first time here, welcome. If it's your last, not your last time, I hope it's not your last time. Your 362nd time here. Thank you. You guys are wild. You know, it's not lost on me. But sit back, relax, enjoy Angela Meyer. This is a conversation you're not going to want to miss. Cheers. I know what day it is, so it's all good. Well, Angela, welcome to the shit show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the shit show.
Of course. Anytime. So like I was just telling you, this is like kind of about you. You know, I want to know you. Like, I kind of lovingly tell people, like, the music's great, right? Like, if I didn't like what you were doing musically, you probably wouldn't be here.
Sure.
But in the big scheme of things for this show, like, I don't care about your music, to be totally honest. You know, like, I want to know you. I want to know who you are.
I love that.
So
yeah,
we'll start that way.
Okay. Well, I'm from Iowa, so that's different right there. I'm a Midwest girl. I grew up with country music because my grandparents loved it, and I had really cool grandparents. So of course, like, their influence, I'm like, oh yeah, anything they like, I want to do that. So they bought me my first guitar when I was 10. It was so big. I tell people, like, I had to learn how to play it sideways, like a steel guitar, because my arm wouldn't fit up and around it. So we kind of grew into each other. And I decided at some point, I think probably like in high school, I started writing songs, and I'm like, you know, what do I want to do afterwards? And I decided to try the music thing. And of course, you know, was hearing from my parents and everybody, like, have a backup plan. And so I went to college, I did the 4-year degree, and it was like still there for me.
Yeah.
So I ended up giving it a try after college, and like, okay, how many gigs a month do I need in order to supplement my nanny job at the time? And once I figured that out, I'm like, okay, I'm full time. Like, I'm doing this. And then it just kind of grew from there. If I want to go somewhere, I figure out a way to do it. I've played at the National Finals Rodeo out in Las Vegas. I've gotten to play in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then, you know, little all over the Midwest. And it's just been so much fun. So it's been my full-time big kid job since 2018. Yeah. I just put out a new album this year called Blood Disease, which I brought for us.
Look at you.
Today. Because otherwise you're going to ask me something about the songs on it, and I'm going to be like, which ones were those again?
No, like that's like, I think, my Achilles, right? When it comes to this show is like, I don't ask a lot of music questions.
Yeah.
You know, we'll talk about music, right? But like when it comes to specifics about an artist and their music, like it's not about that for me. Like this, like I like the songs, right? I like the music, but like for me, like getting to know you and have like real conversation will, I think, in turn make people go and listen to your music and be like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? So my question for you is, we don't get a lot of people from Iowa. So did you ever leave Iowa?
I mean, I've left, but I've never lived anywhere else. But that was on purpose too. I have so many friends that have done the Nashville thing. They've done the Texas scene. They've done all of that. And for me, it's like I'm kind of out here doing field work, I call it. Like, I don't want to go somewhere and write about things that I'm not experiencing.
Sure.
And so for me, it was important to be close to home. I have my husband, my dogs, my horses. Like, I don't want to leave that. I don't want to necessarily live on the road 300 days of the year and do that, you know? So it's different. It's very, very different, but we also just have an incredible music scene here. Like, I'm in the Quad Cities, which would be two of them. There's actually 5 Quad Cities. But 2 of them are in Iowa, 2 of them are in Illinois. So we're like right on the eastern border. And we just have, I mean, like I have a radio show and we do this live entertainment calendar, and it takes us 3 to 4 minutes to read every single day the amount of live music happening.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane. So it wasn't something when I first got into it that I thought would be like my bread and butter would be able to happen at home.
Sure.
But I'm so glad that it does, because it's just my way of being close to family. I'm with all my friends, my pets. Like, this is just, it's home for me.
Right. Now, do you feel like you miss out not being in, I want to say a real city, because that's the New England asshole in me, but like in like a city that like people would, I say people would want to go to, you know what I mean? But like, you know, like not being in Nashville or Austin or LA or New York, or, you know, a major entertainment hub. I get that would have been the nice way of saying it. Entertainment hub. We'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that feeling is there. But it also for me is like I'm able to be more myself, I think, by being surrounded by the things that are very much me.
That's fair.
I think if I went to one of those places, especially like I'm turning 33 this year. So if I would have spent my early 20s in a big city like that, I don't think it would have been good for me. And I don't think I would still be doing it. I think I would have been so burnt out, so trying to fit into the mold and like to look a certain way and to write about certain things. And I think it just would have gotten lost in translation.
No, and that's fair. You know, that really is. Cause it's like, I talk to a lot of people that have been in Nashville for, you know, a decade, you know, or whatever. And it's like, I know me, right? If I was still doing this 10 years out and not getting anywhere, you know, I would have been like, fuck it, a long time ago.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like it takes a different kind of person to stay and stick with it.
Yeah. And I think right away I had kind of that outsider perspective because I wasn't raised in, say, Texas. Like nobody's walking around going, Iowa proud, Midwest, like we're the best. We don't like, nobody knows what the Iowa flag looks like. We're not flying it like Texans do, you know, like it's a quiet pride to be from the Midwest amongst the cornfields and all of that. But like you said, there's still enough traction that I've been able to stick with it, because I mean, you wouldn't be able to do this for so long if you just had no eyes on you and it was just like that's kind of the messed up part, right? Like we create things for ourselves, but then also at the end of the day, like we do want other people to see it, experience it.
Absolutely. Even if it's only a handful of people, you know, you still want that, you know, because it's like, it's so funny. Like I talk to people from all over, right? And I've had bands and artists that have played Red Rocks, and then, you know, living up here in Massachusetts, like there's a country music following and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And like, they'll come up here and play to maybe 1,000 people. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know if it was me, you know, you get the whole like, oh no, this is great. You know, any people are better than no people. And it's like, a part of me is like, you're full of shit. There's no way. There's no way you're okay with selling out, you know, Red Rocks or Dickies Arena and then coming to Massachusetts and playing for 1,000 people. There's no way. You know, like, I get it.
Like, if you're like us, we also get this real selfish streak of like, we get to see Cody Canada, Randy Rogers Band, like whoever's coming to town.
Oh, I wish I could see those guys.
Maybe 100 people.
Right.
Maybe, you know, and it's not even like, oh, we saw Tyler Childers before he blew up. It's like, no, these are huge artists that have had very long sustaining careers. Like we have Turnpike coming up here, I think next weekend, and it'll be a room of less than 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So selfishly, it's kind of fun.
Really? So, all right. So as we're talking, I have just seen Turnpike 2 nights in a row in Connecticut and in Boston, and both rooms fit about, the first room was an arena, right? And they sold about 5,000 tickets, right? And then the next night they played another small theater that fit another 5,000. And like, to me, I'm thinking to myself, this is it. You know what I mean? These guys are, I would argue, one of the biggest bands out of Texas. And this is it. This is all that's coming.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And we have so many people here that are like, oh, we're real country music fans. Right. And they've never heard of them. And it makes me want to just like throttle them, because I'm like, what do you mean? Evan Felker is like the most, in my book, the most genius songwriter ever. Yeah. And you guys have never heard these songs? Like, what? It blows my mind.
All right. So let me ask you this, right? Okay. Because I have been banging on the Turnpike Troubadour door to come on this podcast so bad for a lot of reasons, right? For a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
And I know what that PR sheet will look like of what not to talk about and what to talk about, right?
It'll be almost as long as mine.
I can't. My question for you is this. As much as you love Turnpike, as much as I love Turnpike, does a part of you feel like every Turnpike song is almost the same song?
Kind of, but like it works. I don't know what it is. It's like but it does it for me. It's like a steak. Right. I don't know. Like I could eat steak literally every day and still be like, it's good, because it's not only that it's like a normal staple, it's a staple piece of country music. It's like anything, it's rice, you know. Turnpike is, I don't know. I have noticed like Price of Admission is my favorite album of theirs. And that doesn't happen for me very often, that I enjoy a band's newest release. Like even Whiskey Myers or somebody that I really love, I still go back to the old stuff. But with Turnpike, I'm like, you guys are making new stuff that still, it sounds old. And I guess, it does. I think I stumbled on TikTok, because how does he always start? It's like pointing out how he always starts a song, well, or something like that. And then it just plays like song after song of that. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't know. It does it for me. I don't know.
I'm genius. With you know, and I only say that because it didn't dawn on me. Because I had gone with 2 different buddies this past weekend. One of them was like, this is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. And the other one really likes that 90s country. Right. And he was the one that pointed out to me the fact that it all kind of sounded the same. And like, I was like, oh shit, you're right. Like I hadn't thought about it.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Even if it was there, I had never really like actually thought about it.
Which is like, funny being a 90s country guy, because I can think of so many 90s bands that every song they do sounds the same.
Right. But every Travis Tritt song to me is the same song.
Yes. Shenandoah, any of them.
Right.
I mean, it's like, it works. There's something about it that works.
Right. You know, it's funny you talk about Whiskey, right? Have you ever seen Whiskey acoustic and plugged in?
I don't think I've seen them acoustic.
Okay, so I got to see them acoustic right before Christmas. They do that like winter run where they do, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And the only difference was there was no electric guitar. You know what I mean? Like everything, you know, Cody sounded the exact same. The band sounded the exact same. Like everything was the same. But everybody was just sitting and chilled out. You know what I mean?
The tambourine player wasn't like kicking above his head per usual.
I mean, he was, but you know, it's just one of those things where it's Whiskey's. I think they're a unicorn band.
Yeah.
You know, they really are. Where it's like what lab were they made in?
Yeah.
Because it's just even this latest album, you know, not my favorite, but also there's not a song on there that I would skip to hurry up to get to the next one.
Right.
You know, it's like, how do you keep doing that over and over and over again?
It really is amazing. And especially a lot of those artists being independent, like they don't have somebody in their ear telling them the formula. And they just came into it with that really instinct of what makes a good song and what makes it. I mean, to think that they don't have all of those, it needs to be 3 minutes, 34 seconds. You have to come in at the chorus at 55, like whatever. They don't have that. And it still sounds that polished and that addicting. It's amazing.
Yeah. And maybe that's the secret, right? Is not having somebody telling you what to do and how to do it. Now, for you know, when you see these bands and these artists that you like and love and get to see, and like the fact that you mentioned Randy Rogers right there makes me one of your biggest fans now of all time. Because nobody, especially up here, nobody knows who the hell Randy Rogers is.
Oh, what a shame.
Well, to be fair, they also don't come here either. You know, I think they've come here once in the last 5 years that I know of. But like when you're doing your thing, do you look at them as a level of inspiration of like, okay, if they're doing it this way, I can do it this way?
Yeah, anybody that's had as long of a career as they've had, anybody that can stay with the same band, playing the same shows, coming back to the same festivals, they're doing something right. And like you said, it's not even on a music level, probably. Like the music is great, but you don't get those kind of contacts, friendships, relationships in the business without just being good people and having a level of professionalism that people trust you and they, you know, fans love you. There's something really special about that. So of course, yeah, when you're thinking about like who you want to model your career after, for me, I never wanted to be Carrie Underwood or something like that was just put on a bus and is like a product. So I really like seeing these bands that they're not polished, like we're talking about. They're real people. And like, I think it's so fun when we go down to Key West to see like the Silverado guys out doing karaoke with people. They're just real people and they still get to, they have obviously this level of fame and they're doing amazing things, but they also are still very down to earth, very just human. And I really like that idea for my own career because that's what I crave too, is still being able to connect with people, being just a product.
Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you. It doesn't say you're muted though, so that's weird. Oh, you can't hear me. Well, shoot. How do we fix that? You can't hear me right now?
Oh, seeing these guys and girls affect how you do things.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
for me, I never wanted to be a product. And so I always bring up Carrie Underwood for some reason. I have no qualms with Carrie Underwood, but I always bring her up as a comparison of like who I didn't want to be.
Sure.
I don't want to be put on a bus and like, be known for my quads, even though that would be amazing. But like, it's just all so, you could tell it's a big, big machine,
Yeah.
in like PR and all the things. Like, I just enjoy that you can go to Mile Zero Fest and sing karaoke with Mike from Silverado. Um, I like that Jamie Lynn Wilson signs autographs or just hangs out with you. Like, I just enjoy how down to earth this section of artists are. And so for me, it felt very human and very musical at the same time. And so that's kind of what attracted me to those people. And I just think their music is a lot better than what's happening on mainstream radio. Just, it's inherently better in my book.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
absolutely.
a lot of like, I love 90s country too. I'm a 90s girl. But somewhere in there, we kind of started branching in directions that got really weird with country music. And although it's very obviously profitable, I think it lost a lot of something inherently human and authentic. And I just think that's so much of what country music is that it's really disappointing that it went in different directions like that. So
Right.
for a band like Randy Rogers, yeah, that's who all those guys are who I look up to, that it just feels genuine. It feels human. And it's not such a big machine where it's
What?
like you versus the music kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny. You talk about, there's some great festivals out your way and in the, in the flyover states, right?
Yeah.
Where you do get all of these really great acts that come out and it's like for like, like guys like me, to get a flight to anywhere out there is impossible almost, right? Where you have to go to a major city and then drive for ever. Why do you think it is that way? Why do you think these artists are doing these festivals in the middle of nowhere like that? Do you think it's for, people like you that are there and in it that really appreciate it and it's not oversaturated, over commercialized, no bullshit? There's got to be a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very much that. And also, just from a logistics point of view, like in the Quad Cities, we get so many people that are between Chicago and Des Moines. And so we'll get the opportunity, like, there's a venue called Raccoon Motel in Davenport, and they've had everybody just on a Tuesday. You pay $10 a ticket, and BJ Barham sings to you for 2 hours and tells you the most authentic stories. I think these artists can just be themselves more at the smaller places.
Yeah.
I think it's just more down to earth and they like it. It's so funny. Like as I get to travel, people will remember things from the Midwest and things that have happened at festivals here, which is always fun. Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine for me personally, it would just be way more laid back of a time than going somewhere that's like a Chicago where it's very much people and traffic and
right. And it's one of those things where it's like you're going because you really want to go.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not going because it's like, oh, well, this is cool.
My corporation with my office building said we're going to go, and I've never heard of any of these artists.
Right.
Like people that are going out to see you here, they have been working all week and they just want to let off some steam and have fun. It's very blue collar, laid back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one festival that I would love to go to, and I've been talking to the guy that runs it on and off forever, is Peacemaker down in Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Sure.
Right? But for me to get there, I would have to fly into Oklahoma City and then drive the couple hours to Arkansas. So it's like
a whole nother thing.
Right. It's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, I would do it in a heartbeat, but it's just such a pain in the ass.
It really is.
Where it's like, is and like, that's the thing. There's another festival. Oh, fuck. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Geez, I'm going to remember it while I'm laying in bed later. It's fine. And like it's a festival that has already gone on sale, hasn't released a lineup, and is almost sold out. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Because the people that have gone years prior know that they're gonna get quality
Yeah.
bands.
Yeah. I think that's how Mile Zero is. I got in with my friend Becca that does the Inappropriate Trucker Hats and got to work for her at some festivals, which was incredible because everybody knows her, everybody loves her. Um, and yeah, it was the same thing there where it's like Mile Zero is not cheap to go to,
Right.
but people love it so much. It's like it's a destination. It's something that they want to make sure is on their calendar every year. And yeah, before there's even a lineup release, people are excited to go back just because of the place it's in. I mean, Fort Smith, Arkansas, talk about beautiful.
Right.
Like these ones that are out in Big Sky and all those, like they're just in beautiful parts of the world too, where it's like no matter who you're seeing, you know it's going to be good. So you might as well just go, and even if you didn't know the day of, it still
Right.
became fun to go.
You know, it's I think about it all the time because we're big Shane Smith and the Saints fans here.
Yes. Okay,
Right.
now I'm your biggest fan.
And like, you know, me and those guys have built a relationship, right, over the last few years. And like when they do their Saints weekends out in the middle of East fuck nowhere, Idaho, it's like, what are you doing, guys? Like, come on. Like, I mean, I guess I could get there, but it's like
You
it's
could.
it's more expensive to travel and get there than the tickets are for the weekend. Like, it's just it sucks. It
It
really,
does.
really sucks.
It really does.
You know?
And that's kind of something that's changed too, is all of these festivals. I don't
Right.
feel like it used to be so festival centered
Right.
back in the day, for lack of a better term. But it's kind of cool because you get introduced to a bunch of different artists that you may have never seen. We went to one here in Iowa, and it was like such a killer lineup. Turnpike was there, Bingham was there, Caitlin Butts was there, Treaty Oak might have been there, I'm not sure. Who else? It was just like solid lineup. The one we didn't know was Trampled by Turtles, and we're like, they're gonna be great. And we go, and I was like, I'm their biggest fan. They are so good. Um, and so it's probably not a concert we would have just gone to,
Right.
but because they were on that lineup, we got to experience them, and it was amazing. Just
You know, I'm good. So we went to Country Calling last October in Maryland, right? Because we drove. It was an easy enough drive, and I went to specifically see Treaty Oak because they had, you know, I had missed them when they opened for Co-op here, and the Mohegan Sun show hadn't been announced yet once I bought my tickets because I would have just went there and not have driven 8 hours, but whatever. But like the other bands and artists that I saw, like were all bands and artists I had already seen over the summer. So like that kind of sucked, but like it was the same kind of idea, like you were saying earlier, where it's like, you know, all these corporations gave out tickets to whomever, and it takes away from, you know, the music, I think. You know, like
it totally does. It brings the vibe down too,
it
because
does.
those people, they're very specific. You could pick them out of the crowd.
Yeah.
And they're just not a fun music fan to always be around.
Like,
Even
listen,
as an artist, it's not fun.
I love country music to death, right? And every show I go to, unless it's the middle of summer, I have my jeans and my cowboy boots on and the whole 9 yards, right? But like anybody that goes to a country music festival on the beach and wears cowboy boots, like, come on. Just tell us you don't give a shit, because you would not dress that way
Right.
if you did.
I mean, they're not getting sand between their toes.
That's
So
true, but it's also a bitch to walk through.
That's true. That is very true.
You know?
Yes.
Call me crazy, I guess. I don't know.
Call me old fashioned. I don't
Right,
know.
right. But like, yeah, you know, I think about it now, and it like you talking about it, and it's like you do get to see artists that I may never get to see.
Yeah.
Like ever. And that makes me sad more than you know.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we kind of, at least for me, like I didn't know anything. I didn't know Red Dirt Music existed until I met my husband. So that would have been 2014. We started dating. So this is in the grand scheme of things, pretty new. I never got to see Ragweed like back in the day, right?
Yeah, me neither.
God, we get to now, but never got to back in the day. So sometimes it's like, oh, we came along a little too late, but I think there's still great ones that are coming up that it's like we are so lucky we get to experience them before they hit the big time. And for me as an artist, like I've been able to open for Cody Canada, Jason Boland, Flatland Calvary, Kel Wetzel, like because there's not a lot of other artists here that even know who they are.
Right.
Like they would get that call and be like, open for who? They wouldn't
Really?
get it. So, I know. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
Right. That's wild to me. Like absolutely insane.
We have a massive fair here at the Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. It's the second largest fair in the state. And at the Mississippi Valley Fair, they had Kel Wetzel. And I remember the board like talking to me about it and being like, do you think that he'll like draw a crowd? Do you think? And they were like so hesitant about even having him there. I'm like, what do you mean people don't know who Kel Wetzel is?
Right.
And since then, he's got even more mainstream success where people have stumbled upon him. But I mean, some of us just love, the Taco Bell song and all of that. We're the OG fans,
Right. It's
even
funny because I remember when I first started doing this, Ko had never been up here. He was making a lot of noise in the red dirt scene, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all. Like I didn't like it. I wasn't like the Taco Bell song, I could get down with. Like it was like, all right. But the rest of it I was like, and then right, wrong, or indifferent, I went through some shit in my personal life and I was like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah. Some of those artists, you don't get it until you need them.
Right.
Once you need them, it's like you're forever tied to them because they help get you through that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, and like, that's kind of like how Treaty Oak was. Like I always, when I first heard them, I liked them. And then it wasn't until I started going through some shit where it was like, I need these lyrics way more than you realize I need these lyrics.
Yeah. You're like, how did you know what I'm going through?
Right.
How did you get my personal diary?
Right.
How did you write a song without my permission about my personal life experiences?
Exactly. And, even there's times where like even Turnpike catches me, if they could catch me in the right or wrong state of mind. And it's like, you motherfucker,
Yeah. Like this most recent album, is it The Rut, that's talking about his relationship with his dad a little bit more. His dad's kind of more of a character on the album, I feel like, than previous ones. And my husband had lost his dad in 2019. And so those songs were like hitting us so hard. And then listening to an interview with him, he's like, oh no, my dad's still alive. Like, well, you would have swore that he was gone, the way that he was he perceived his dad so deeply for his dad to still be alive.
Yeah.
Some of that clarity comes after you've lost him.
And I don't even think that's necessarily with just like parents, right? It could be with anybody.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been through relationships and friendships where it's like those people don't even exist, and they're still fine. They're still alive and well. I was actually talking to a security guard the other night because Treaty Oak had kicked off their tour here. And we were shooting the shit. And he's like, I've never seen these guys. I don't even know who these guys are, yada, yada, yada. And like, I'm laughing because, the average age in the crowd was probably 23.
Love that.
Right. Well, you love that until.
I love that health of the community of the genre.
Right. But like, and I'm laughing because it's like these kids, I'm quick to judge, right? And I have no qualms about it. Like I'm the first one to tell you, like I'll judge you before you even make a sound. But it's like some of the songs, a lot of the songs, most of the songs that Treaty Oak puts out, like the lyrics are like, you've been through some shit.
Yeah.
And it's like at 20, I remember me at 22, 23, like I hadn't been through anything. It's like
you don't have any depression to relate to this song.
Right.
More trauma in your life before you can be at this concert.
Exactly. exactly. You know,
Respect it.
you know, you like they didn't play "See You in Court," and that's one of my favorites for a lot of reasons. But like, you know, and I talked to Sam after the show, and I was like, you don't know like how much of the year that song got me through.
Mm.
You know, and he's like, I'm like, and that's a whole conversation we're gonna have another time. But you know, it's things like that where it's like you don't know, like, or maybe you do, you know, or maybe I just don't have any empathy or sympathy for people, which is very possible. But like, I'm one of those kind of people where it's like I don't understand things unless I go through them, right? So
Okay.
like, if you could talk about something all day long, and if I haven't gone through it, like it's almost I don't want to say it goes in one ear out the other, but it's like I don't have the connection to it that I would if I had gone through it.
Yeah. I had somebody recently do that with Kaylee Hammock, if you're familiar with her. She it was a friend of mine, and she's like telling her how much she loved this one specific song. And Kaylee, you know, she's taken it to this really deep level, and Kaylee's like, "Oh yeah, I wrote it because of this." And it was so not even close that I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh man, I almost wish I didn't know that about the song. Like I
Right.
want it to be what I need it for. I don't need to know that it was just surface level."
Right. It like this is gonna sound bad. That's how I feel about Brothers Osborne, right?
Mm.
Where and I know I'm if this goes viral, I wouldn't be shocked. But like I love the Brothers Osborne, and I don't care what TJ does, right, with his personal life. But it's like as a dude, right, singing a lot of those songs prior to him coming out, like there's a lot of things in there that are like that are heavy and heavy hitting, right? And it goes back to, you know, whatever. And then him coming out and then like looking back and it's like shit. Like some of that writing was on the wall and you just weren't paying attention to it. You know, and it's like you think of this like, you know, this like sad dude about a girl when it might not have been that, you know. Now so it's like, oh shit, like where's my brain, you know, like, you know, and like you start questioning like, can this relate to me? And I'm like, of course it can, you know, regardless of anything. You know,
It's universal.
relationships are relationships no matter what.
Yeah, big time. I'll do like, I mean, when I cover songs, I always think about, do I switch the pronoun to be she with me singing
Right.
it versus, you know, and I'm like, I usually don't. I
No,
just keep it to the original meaning. And sometimes it works out better rhyme wise or writing wise.
right.
Sometimes I can't think of something that is relatable the opposite way. But yeah, it's interesting how universal those things are.
Yeah.
No matter what. It's beautiful, really.
It really is. You know, and it's you know, I have some, you know, I was talking to a duo yesterday for the podcast and we were talking about like women in country music, right? And this wonderful segue to your stuff.
Look at us go.
Where it's like I say it all the time where you guys don't get enough representation, right? At all. And then the representation that you do get, it's one at a time. Like it's like ladies get in line because there's one of you and we don't have room for more than one. And it's infuriating because there's so many great female artists out there that you have to dig as a consumer to find.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I like how you said that with it's one at a time. I remember like growing up, I loved Miranda Lambert's music, and it's cool to see her still being just a top of her game. And it's also cool to see Ella Langley coexist with her, Caitlin Butts coexist with her. All of these people that are coming up, and I hope it's less and less of that, but I still see a lot of it where it's like, oh, we already have the girl.
Right. Well, like, I think that's my point. My point is that it's not that they're not out there. You know, it's not, you know, I'm not really sure we should be talking about Turnpike and Miranda Lambert in the same conversation, in the same podcast.
That was earlier.
But, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, and this is what I was talking about yesterday with them. And for people that have listened to all these episodes, you're going to hear pretty much the same story again. But it's like, Lainey came out of the gate. They pushed her for 2 years, right? I'm not saying Lainey's gone because I don't think she is, but the push for Lainey is maybe gone, or has dwindled. That candle is being turned down, and now we're pushing Ella, which I've loved Ella for years, right? So I think she deserves it. But like to your point, like Caitlin Butts, she should be out there too, but she doesn't. I don't think she'll ever play the radio game the way they would want her to either.
Yeah, it's so interesting how it works. I mean, I would love to be a fly on the wall sometimes, and other times I think if I knew the ins and outs of it, I'd never look at the industry or music the same way. Like,
yeah, no, it's fucking.
I don't want to know how the sausage is made.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
But it's interesting. I mean, I think Lainey, gosh, what a superstar. I mean, she's huge, and sometimes I think maybe she doesn't need any more of the gas. She let the damn fire. It's gonna burn.
Right.
But it is cool to see the promotion behind it, and I wonder too, if there wasn't the team there, what that would look like. Right. And I think that's where you see more of like a Caitlin Butts, where it's smaller, and she's I think behind so much of that, and you can feel more of Caitlin through her social media posts and the way she presents herself. To me, I am more drawn to that.
Yeah, because like just from her social media alone, right? Like you can tell she doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I love it.
Right. And like it's awesome. It's awesome for her to be as successful as she is at the level she's at and still be a person.
Yeah.
And you see that through all of it. And like, she's married to somebody who's in one of the biggest bands in this whole thing, if you're paying attention in the industry. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. And that she's still in the shadows is it's mind-blowing. And like even like Margot Price, same kind of thing.
Yeah, she's from an hour from me, by the way.
You from Iowa too?
She's Illinois girl. Illinois. She's within an hour of me. So, and Susie Boggess, Aledo, Illinois. Our claim to fame.
At least you have. I mean, you have the Field of Dreams.
That's true. That's the other way.
How far is that from you? Because I've been dying to ask for the last almost 45 minutes.
Probably a couple hours.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been once. I'm not a big sports girl or a movie girl.
Well, I mean, you don't have any sports out there.
People ride hard for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Well, some people don't get it. I don't know.
And I have no horse in that race.
So I need to ask, is it as cool as it is on TV?
Iowa?
No. We know Iowa's not cool no matter what.
What TV are you watching?
No, I'm talking about Field of Dreams. Like, is it worth going to?
If you're into that kind of thing, yeah. I mean, it's cool. I don't think there's anything else around there, but it's neat. I like that they did the big concert there over the summer. Tim McGraw, that whole thing was really neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think once was enough for me.
Yeah. Is it just the baseball field?
No, the house is there too.
Can you go in the house?
I think they do tours and like maybe a little gift shop in there. I'm probably talking out my ass. Maybe they don't do any of that.
That's fine. That's fine. We make up most of the shit here anyway.
Prove me otherwise.
Right. I'm not going to go to Iowa just to go to the Field of Dreams.
I wouldn't.
Just to say, well, Angela was wrong.
Right.
Or, right. Whatever. You're a lot closer. Why don't you go and tell me?
I'll go. Boots on the ground journalism. I'll go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
God. So I don't know. What other kind of crazy shit can we talk about? I guess we could talk about your music.
Okay, let's do it.
I don't even know what I was going to say. All right. So the album comes out, right?
The album is out. Yes.
Right. Comes out, is out. It's not coming out. How much of that is a labor of love for you?
It's all.
Yeah.
Every fucking step of that was a labor of love. I mean, everything we did was locally. Like all my musicians are locals. The guy that produced it is local. My artwork done by a local gal, but it's also like the best of the best. I just love it so much. I love the album process. I'm trying to get myself more into a single mindset because it's way more cost effective to put out one song at a time. Way easier to promote one song at a time. I think that's what I should be doing. But for me, I had to make this album, and I also did it on vinyl for the first time, which was quite the process too. So it was just a lot of planning. The first song that I wrote for this project was back in 2018, and it's just been kind of ruminating. Like the whole album is called Blood Disease because it's everything that can poison a bloodline. So whether that's physically speaking, like I have a song about a blue healer that we lost to blood cancer, a lot of just like generational trauma, alcoholism, narcissists, like family shit, that I think is really relatable. And I found it to be really relatable. But yeah, it was I've always been a very honest songwriter, but this album took it to a whole nother level for me. And honestly, I would credit Caitlin Butts with that, with her song Blood. That was a tune that just blew my fucking mind wide open of like, oh, we can talk about that. Like I knew, again, being a female artist, it's just a little bit different of what you can and can't say and talk about. And when she put that song out and I heard it live, it just changed my whole brain chemistry forever. And yeah.
You know, I love that you said that because you're absolutely right. Like there's a line in the sand for you guys that of things you can and can't talk about, and it's kind of fucked. You know, where, you know, because I think that the women in this genre write better songs, whether it, you know, regardless, like lyrically, write better songs than the guys do. You know, so for you guys to have to at times tiptoe, I think is just doing an injustice to the music.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also like you can say whatever you want, but it's not going to be perceived the same way that if a male artist does it, it's brave. If a female artist does it, it's sneaky or bitchy or calculated, or, you know, it's something that gets immediately put into a box.
Right.
Or she's this, she's whining, she's the victim, she's, you know, they put all these things on it. So it is interesting.
It is. It's very interesting. And, you know, I don't even know if I should say this out loud, but fuck it. I'm gonna. It's also the problem. I've had some problems with female artists that come out and do like spill the tea in a way, because especially when they spill tea about other males in the industry, right? Because it's like a double-edged sword, right? Like those guys can't come back and be like, well, this is what I don't want to say really happened, but this is how I perceived the situation to go. You know, like what's his name? God.
I'm trying to read your mind.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'll think about it. Him and Carly Pierce were together and then divorced or whatever.
Okay.
And
I don't think I would know his name.
What the hell's his name? Anyway, well, she puts out this whole album about how much he sucks, right? But like, imagine if he would have done that back, like it would have been a shit show. But like, same thing on the contrary, right? If he would have done that to her, it's just so weird how the whole industry works.
Yeah. It gets weird when you know who it's about. Because in that case, if Carly Pierce is writing something and she was married and now she's not, when she's talking about you or he or whoever the pronoun is, it's pretty easy to determine who that exact person is. So that it's hard in songwriting too, because like you want something to be really relatable, but there's not a song on this album that's about just one person.
Sure.
Because I find that these archetypes, they exist. And I think they do too. Like probably other artists have tried to achieve that. And sometimes it doesn't pay off like we think it should, where it's like you're attacking or targeting. And I definitely know the type of music that you're talking about. Yeah. And it gets messy Very messy.
It's Michael Ray. I had to look it up because
Michael
it was
Ray. Okay, there it is.
drive
Yeah.
me fucking nuts.
And now we're gonna get a letter in the mail.
Right. I could hear people yelling at this episode. Michael Ray,
Great.
Michael. I was like,
They're
but
tagging.
and then you get things like, you hear the mumbles and grumbles about whether Megan Maroney's writing about
that was
Morgan
a crazy
Wallen and vice versa, right? And it's like, but those songs aren't like he's an asshole or she's a bitch or this, that, and the other thing. It's like, hey, I'm still thinking about you, even if we had a rough ending, and it's like there you go. Why does it have to be vindictive and mean and whatever? Like,
it's very human. I mean, there's so many things that can go wrong in a breakup. You can really assume that it's one of like 5 things.
Right.
And then it gets more specific, and sometimes you can get like too targeted and mean in that sense. But I think too, like, if I don't want somebody to write a song about me like that, I'm not going to act like that to them. And if I do, that's fair game then.
Right. Now let me ask you this, right? I've asked this to a lot of female artists. This is going to be a twofer. One, being a female artist in this industry, and we're going to get a little personal here, so buckle up.
Oh, hold on.
How does your husband react to all of this?
Wait, I can't hear you.
Oh, did we lose audio again?
It's not working.
Fuck.
Damn it.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I'll end it and then come back in.
I can't hear you. What the?
Shit. Now I have to remember what it was. ADHD is brutal. So the first part of this question is this. As a female in this industry, my assumption, and I could be wrong, if I'm wrong, please tell me, is that your husband is not also in the industry, right?
He is not. Nope.
How does he manage this, like, with you? Because it is a very different lifestyle, right? Like, it's being away when you have to be. It's not it's not a quote unquote normal thing to be in, right?
Yeah. I mean, Dean gets it because he's also an artist. He's a cowboy poet.
Oh, okay.
He's got this very artistic brain to him. He draws, he's just wired that way. So I think we connect on the artist level, but on the entertainer level, it's weird.
Yeah.
It definitely took us, there was a lot of growth in figuring that out, especially because it's such a male dominated industry. Right. You have this whole nother level of trust that you have to find somebody. It's a lot of late nights. It's a lot of one-on-one connection with men. Like, there has to be a lot of trust there and a lot of just being good people. I mean, every time I'm away, he's at home alone. So there's a lot of working on that balance too, that if I'm gone, we do see each other and do something intentional when I'm back. He's amazing. He is really, really helpful to me. He's also not a very social person. So like, I will drag him along to shows with me and he will absolutely bullshit with the best of them. But he can also get very annoyed by like just overstimulated, like too many people around. So he's definitely also okay being at home while I'm out doing the thing.
And now that we're talking about this, and it didn't even strike me the last time I had asked, but like, I would never have asked a dude that question.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Isn't it? Like, I would never be like, oh, how does your wife handle it? Like,
yeah.
Wouldn't even be a thought.
Again, the conversation's different. I also think it's interesting. I have a lot of male friends that have kids, and I've asked them, I don't have any kids, and I've asked them, do you ever get asked what if you could still do what you do because of your children? Like, they don't even get what the question is.
Right.
And because I get people all the time that are like, well, you'd have to give up what you do if you wanted to have kids, or what? So Dean's supposed to take care of the kids while you're gone all the time. And it's just a very different conversation than what's assumed about men.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it really is, because it's like, like, I understand being a guy, right? I understand why that question would be raised to you and not to me, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm a dad, right? But like, I also know that my kids I don't want to say would prefer to be with mom, because I don't think that's the case, but like, there's things that mom can provide that I can't, and vice versa, right? Like,
Mm.
but mom is always the default, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's just how it is. It's not right or wrong. It's just how we work,
Very deeply ingrained in us as a society.
Right.
But
Right.
I think we're waking up to it too.
Right.
Like the fact that we had the second half of that conversation is that wouldn't have happened with a lot of other people, I think.
Right.
That we're
Right.
kind of becoming aware of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like, so my second part of the question is, do you ever write songs about whatever, right? Whatever the subject matter is. And do you go to Dean and say, what do you think of this?
I do. I'm just thinking of like the content of this album. I'm my first, like, it has to pass my vibe test. There have been times that I'll say, is this too much? Is this too, do we want to go there? Do we want to talk about this? But I will say he's never once heard something and been like, oh my God, no. He's very open-minded, very respects if I wrote it, there was probably a reason to it. But he's definitely one of the first people to ever hear songs.
Right.
And which is a double-edged sword too, because sometimes I'm like, well, you weren't as excited about that as I wanted you to be. And I'll like, because in my head, I'm already hearing the steel guitar part. I'm already hearing the drum beat that's going to be there. I can already picture the crowd and the reaction to it. And I get the deeper ins and outs of it. But what I'm presenting to him is like some lyrics and a vocal and a scratched out guitar part.
Right.
So it's like, I have to really ground myself in that. Where sometimes my bandmates are the ones that hear it, or a close friend that maybe can relate to it. Like there's a song about the idea of like having kids or not having kids, that kind of thing. Because again, every woman in her 30s you're not going to meet a woman in her 30s that's never been asked about it, thought about it, talked about it. The last track on the album is called Last of My Line. And it's kind of playing around with the idea of like, okay, all the generations, all the people, all the family that have fallen in love before me, this bloodline just runs out with me. And so it was the end track to the album. So that was one specifically that I played for a few friends before Dean, to be like, am I getting the woman part of this message down? Because I think there's another thing that I don't think men can relate to as much.
Yeah.
Of like this idea of having kids and how that changes your life, because it's so different.
Right.
For women. So that was one that I didn't play for him first. When he heard it, it was like, wow, that is really honest, and it has to be on the album. So it is.
Damn. It's been a long time since we've had like I don't want to say a real conversation, because all the conversations are real, right? And this is going to go back to, this is maybe part 3 of the conversation. When I first started this, it was very female driven. Like my guests were, I would say 90% female, and now it's like 90% male, right? I don't know what has happened in the last 5 years. I mean, I could probably guesstimate what has happened in the last 5 years, but like it used to be where I would get on with a female artist and have these conversations, right? And then it just stopped, where it was like nobody wanted to be open and honest and talk about the tough stuff, right? Or the real stuff. And like the guys are just like, I'll say whatever the fuck you want me to say. Yeah. But it's like, it's nice to see that over the last few female interviews I've done, that seems to be coming back.
Oh, I love that.
I mean,
what it should be, because whether people are talking about it or not, we're all experiencing it.
Right.
So it kind of becomes this elephant in the room where it's like, yeah, you could ask me if I prefer Bud Light or Michelob or tequila. Like we could be surface level,
right.
Or we could really talk about life and like why we drink, right. what our family's history is with drinking, right. Why we chose to drink or not drink, and our habits and our vices and all of that. Like it can go so much deeper. And for me, I'm the first time I meet you, like do you believe in ghosts? Like, why did your mom do this? Like, I just want to dive into it because I'm like, life is too short to just not.
You're absolutely right. Like, and we all try to put on a persona, right? Like male or female. Like we are all trying to impress somebody else for whatever reason.
Yeah. And I think it's just not like we all go through that stuff. There's not a single thing that anybody has ever been through, no matter how good or how bad, that at least one other person can relate to.
Okay.
And sometimes we can feel so isolated in what we go through or what we experience. And I mean, that's songwriting for me too, is like finding those common threads and those universal experiences like we talked about too.
You know, and it's funny, we talk about experiences and things we've been through and all that. And like I was telling you earlier, how if I haven't been through it, it's hard for me to understand or like sympathize, whatever, right? And like that's something about me I just know, right? And it is what it is. But like there's been people that, you know, there's a lot of things I've been through that a lot of people haven't been through. And like when I try to have those conversations and they're like, oh, you know, I understand. And it's like, to me, it's like, shut the fuck up. Like you don't get it. And like, and that's okay. And I appreciate the empathy, but it's like, don't tell me you get it when you don't, you know, like that pisses me off more than anything.
Yeah. It's almost more validating if they were to say, I don't understand it, but I can see how devastating that is, or I can see how life-changing that would be. And although I can't relate to it, I respect how you're feeling. Like, rather than be like I just lost my horse of 18 years last week, and people kept saying like, oh, it sucks to lose our pets. And I found it really pissing me off because I'm like, that wasn't a pet. He's my horse. Like we had a whole nother relationship than I have with my dogs or my cats or whatever, you know, he's not. And then same thing there. Sometimes it's easier because he was always outside. Whereas if you lose a dog, it's like you go to the next room and they're not there. So it's like constant reminders.
Right.
But I found myself being so irked by that. I'm like, you're not even a horse person and you're trying to give me sympathy on something that you don't even understand, you know? So I relate to that.
See, like, but like, you know, it's funny you say that because like, I'm not an animal person at all. Like, I don't like when my wife and I were together, or my ex-wife and I were together, our kids wanted cats really bad. And I think cats are the grossest thing in the world. I know. I'm giving you all the red flags, but here we are. And like, I just like, I don't get dog. Like as I've gotten older, I understand like why people love dogs so much. And like, I get it. I don't know that I'm that person, but I get it.
Okay.
You know, but like it's always irked me, probably the way this irked you, where like when people talk about their dogs or their cats like they're their children.
As children.
Like, that pisses me off because it's like I get the comparison, I do, but it's like it's so much different. It's so much different. Like your dog's never gonna come home one day until you're a fucking asshole. You know what I mean? Like
right. You might think it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my pet peeve. But I get it. You know, I totally get it. Yeah. I've just lost half the audience. It's fine.
It's okay. You know, it's okay.
And you're like, you lost me too. Bye.
That's all right. We'll come back around. All right, next topic.
So I'm glad the album's out.
I guess we'll talk about the dog song. All right.
Oh man. What else do I want to ask that I probably shouldn't, and whatever. I don't know, honestly. I think this has been like an awesome conversation. Like it's
same.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm never sure what I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
Right. Definitely. Going into these conversations. And you know, the track record lately with the women and being so like just giving me answers I want to hear or what they think I want to hear, and not getting that from you has been a breath of fresh air.
Aw, thank you, friend. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Like it's been nice to have a conversation with somebody and it be an actual conversation.
You know what I found too is that I am inherently like a very shy person, other than
Really?
like when I come out and I'm Angela Meyer, like this is me and I know how to talk about my music thing. Sorry, the sun is like in a weird spot.
So at least there's still sun where you are. There's no sun where I am.
It's hanging on by a thread, but we have it. So yeah, I'm kind of just this inherently shy weirdo, but in having my radio show and in having to interview people, I've learned all of my pet peeves of what other people do as an interviewee, and I think it's made me a better interviewee because I also was like not wanting to take up space. So if you'd ask me a question, I'm going to directly answer it, and then that's it. And now that I interview people, I'm like, why did you just give me a yes or no question to this kick-ass thing that I asked you? Like you gave me just, yep, I think so too. Or yeah, I really like this. And then that's like the end of it. So
yeah, no, I can't stand that.
Like actually connect with people. We're like, we're going to be friends after this interview. It's not just, here's 20 minutes of our lives where we intersect and then we're just off again, you know?
Right. And that's how I've always said it. Like, as soon as, I say to everybody, like, if you're on this show, like, and we have like a decent conversation and there's like a connection and it's like, you're a friend. Like, I don't, reach out about anything. I don't care if it's about the goddamn weather. Like,
yeah, same. If you ever want to come into dreams,
I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it.
Someday when you're really bored and you just have all this extra money sitting around that you're like, God, I wish I could.
Yeah. I'll hold on to that dream. I've never ridden a horse, so maybe.
See, we can make it happen.
I know. I'm such a bad cowboy. I fucking, as far as I know, the only thing I know about horses is they like sugar cubes, and apparently when they die, they made out of glue. I don't know. And that is probably wrong. I don't know.
I don't know if they still do that or not, to be honest.
I don't. I'm sure PETA.
I have seen some people that there's like bonnets that keep the flies out of the ears, and they have like Elmer's glue themed ones, which are kind of dark.
Oh, that's all fucked up.
It is funny.
Imagine if, yeah. So, all right. So we're going to have you back on because now I need to know the ghost thing.
Yes.
And we're going to we'll get into like stupid shit like that.
Love it.
Me too. All right. I'm going to go have dinner because I'm hungry.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This was great.
Oh, anytime. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. See ya. Well, there you have it. Our conversation with Angela Meyer, episode 362, is now out and done and complete. Thank you so much for tuning in. Angela, you're a real gem, and I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being a friend and letting this conversation happen. I think it was very raw, authentic, and one that people need to hear. I really believe that. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll be back next week for episode 363, I think. I don't know. Alex Hall was also released this week, and so wasn't Carmen Collins. Check those out. And if you haven't refollowed us on our Instagram yet, please go ahead and do so. Boots Whiskey Podcast is the new handle. And if you know how to get our old shit back, let us know. So until then, guys, be good to each other. Keep those boots on the ground. What? I don't even know what it is anymore. You know what? I'm tired. It's Monday, 3 episodes. This is a lot of work. We love you. Cheers.